Honorable Justice Sundar Mohan, our guest of honor, Mr. Damodaran IRS, our Vice President, Mr. Shekhar Viswanathan, Dr. Tyagarajan, our VIT Chancellor, Advisor Dr. Tyagarajan, Executive Director, professors, parents, my dear students, Additional Registrar, distinguished invitees, very good morning to you. I am so happy that Justice Sundar Mohan has accepted our invitation to be here as a chief guest when we are celebrating our University Day. This was started 14 years ago as a campus, a VIT campus. Now Vellore is 40 years old. I think the progress of Chennai campus is astonishing. Now already we have 20,000 students and this is performing well. A week back we distributed awards for our teachers for publications and patents. About 460 of them were selected and given. Today, we are going to give awards to 1,200 students from our side, from the university side. And already, they are also getting some support from government. About 360 students are getting scholarship from central government as well as state government. It was pointed out by Shekhar that because of parents, you are here. That is true, because if parents don't send us to higher education, virtually there will be no higher education. Even with the parents' support, our gross enrollment ratio or access to higher education is only 27% in the world. In all the developed countries or advanced countries, the GER varies from 60% to 100%. In fact, there are two countries, South Korea and Australia, which claim 100% GER. The new education policy talks about taking the GER from 27% to 50%. It means almost the students studying in colleges and universities have to be doubled. Who will pay for them? For the well-to-do class, it's not a problem. The parents will take care of them. For the middle class and the poor class, unless the government also steps in and helps them, it will be difficult for them. I have been following the country's progress, society progress for the last almost 60 years. I find this country is growing. Economically, we are growing. But there is so much diversity and there is so much inequality. You know, we have so much diversity, almost more than a continent. I am not going into details. But why this inequality? On the social side, there is inequality because we have religion, caste, and all kinds of things, which we are not responsible, but we are unable to dispose them. What started as 4 castes are now 25,000 castes in this country. Now this is the season of election. At the time of election, caste will be in the forefront because it's easy to get vote in the name of caste rather than meritorious candidate. What I would like to request the government is that let the people be given education. There are 22 countries in the world where education is free up to the university level. There are many countries which offer scholarship. Some of them give interest-free loan, etc. All kinds of availability is there, scholarship, etc. But we are not in the forefront of it. In the expenditure on education, Dr. Radhakrishnan Commission set up more than 50 years ago suggested that 6% of the GDP should be spent on education. It has not been followed. Now in the latest education policy of 2020, same thing has been recommended. 6% of the GDP should be spent on education. Almost in the last 50 years, we have not adopted it. At present, we spend 2.9% of the GDP on education. In the world, there is a ranking of countries on expenditure on education, and India's ranking is 155 out of 190 countries. There are 154 countries who are spending more than us on education. That is why we are lagging behind in education. This is the main reason for inequality in the society also. I'm talking about economic inequality. Already social inequality exists, and now I find in the last more than 2 decades, the economic inequality is also on the increase. That is because people vary in education. For example, the top 10% of the people of this country, they own 80% wealth of the nation. And the bottom 50%, they own 3 to 4% of the wealth of the country. In fact, we have overtaken even US. US is supposed to be United States, is supposed to be a capitalist country. In our economic inequality, we have overtaken even US. To give you an exact example, the top 1% of the population of US, they control 37% of the wealth of US. In India, the top 1%, they control 58% wealth of the country. To be precise, we are producing more billionaires than anything else. In the year 2000, we had 9 billionaires in India. You know what is a billionaire? Koteeswarar, Perungoteeswarar. Now, in the year 2023, the number of 9 has become 187. So we have reduced so many billionaires. At the same time, this is the country with the maximum number of poor people living in the world. There are 23 crores of people who are living below poverty line. So it's not an easy thing to be tackled unless all of us put our heads together, especially the union government as well as the state governments put together. They have to act with each other's support. It may not be possible. To reduce this inequality, education will be a weapon. But governments are not spending. Recently, you would have found, I don't know how many of you go through newspaper regularly, all the political parties have published their manifesto. I find nobody has mentioned free education. All kinds of things are offered. They offer monthly allowance, weekly allowance, etc. But I don't find anybody except one party which has said that they will give free education up to the school level. Already it is free if you go to private government schools. But if you send your children to private school, what government help do you get? Nothing. This is a thing where the government has to concentrate. Take for example South Korea. There the government schools as well as the private schools get government support. The parents also get government support. These are the things I want the political parties and the governments to consider so that our people also come up educationally And this inequality which is increasing can be curtailed. I don't know whether to be removed, but it can be reduced. Another important thing is today, it was mentioned. In fact, I am happy that Damodaran mentioned about corruption in this country. It's a national disease. There are 3 national diseases in our country: corruption, tax evasion, and black money. We talk about it, we never take action against it. If somebody gets 5,000 rupees bribe, he will be sent to jail for 1 or 2 years. But if you get 5,000 crores, you will not be touched. That's the kind of situation exists. I can't blame anybody, but it is the situation in the country. Now take the election. I am one of those who contested election in 1967 and became a member of parliament with 50,000 rupees. Now, government allows up to 95 lakhs. A candidate can spend up to 95 lakhs. But will there be any candidate in India who will be elected with 95 lakhs? It's all in crores. Is it accounted? No. It's all unaccounted money. I'm telling you this to tell you that at least there are some people. VITN should be a model officer, model citizen. As Damodaran pointed out, we should become models. We should be free from corruption. We should be free from tax evasion and black money. It is possible. If some of them start, then it will be followed. I think this is the time now where we have to set an example. As told you, we are growing. Now India has become the 5th largest economy of the world, overtaking France and the United Kingdom. We are so happy about it. Our ranking is number 5. But when you take up the per capita income ranking, we are 140. Unless we come up in both, it will be difficult because we will be producing it and giving to only a few people. And as I told you, government policy should take care of this, and the vigilance of the people depends on education. They say eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. If you want to maintain or improve our democracy, education is very essential, higher education is very essential. So to remove corruption, to reduce inequality, to improve our democracy, all depends on the education level of the people. This 27%, we cannot assure all these things with this 27%. It has to go up, and governments have to spend more on education. They have to give scholarship. In fact, last committee on education, which was appointed by Government of India, suggested that 10 lakhs of scholarship should be given every district, every year, and that has been left out in the recent report. I think it is time now that the governments, both the union government as well as state governments, allot more funding on education so that the middle class and the poor class students can be taken care of. Today, I find we are going to distribute awards and scholarship. I find there are 29 students who are going to get awards for 100% attendance. Particularly, I'd like to congratulate them. Of course, I congratulate all the 1,200 students. But there are students still who are coming daily. Because I was, as Shekhar pointed out, I was a villager. When I entered Loyola College, I was there for 4 years, 2 years BA and 2 years MA. All the 4 years I had 100% attendance. So I want more students to attend the classes because your father or mother are paying for it to attend the class. And one more request, I want the teachers also to join them. In Vellore this year, we gave 10% attendance to 7 teachers and employees. I find here there is no competition at all. At least next year, I want some of the teachers to come daily so that it will be beneficial to the students. It's not only beneficial to the students, you are creating the future India, because we cannot work like Americans or Europeans. We have to compete with them, and the gap has to be filled up. If they work 8 hours, we say we will work 7 hours. How are you with this gap? Will always remain. We'll have to work more and work hard. And that is why I consider this as very important, because, of course, I never apply for leave because my father never applied for leave. A farmer can never apply for leave. If he says that I will work for 7 hours, 8 hours, what will happen? There will be nothing coming out of the fields. So I am like that. But you may not be like that, but I want at least some of you to be a model. And I hope next year I will find out how many teachers are coming without applying for leave. It is possible. Unless it is absolutely necessary, don't be absent, because it is wasted. People take leave. I would request the students also. There are many students who can come regularly so that it will become a habit. And you learn, whatever you learn in the class, it's going to remain with you forever. And I congratulate all those who are getting their awards and scholarship today. And I would like to congratulate all the parents who are educating the children. And I would like to thank our guest of honor, Dr. Damodaran, who is a model VITian. I am so happy about it. And I would like to thank our chief guest specially for accepting our invitation. Only today I knew that his father and myself were studied together. We were classmates in law college. And so my classmate's son has become a judge of the High Court of Madras, which is not an easy thing. I congratulate him and I thank him. Thank you very much.